Welcome back to success tip number 10 in this little series on winning sales proposals. My name is Bram. This section here now is the next part in putting together a winning sales proposal, a template if you like. Now what would it be? Next is the About Us section. Too often when I look at people's proposals, they straight away start selling themselves and saying how good they are to deal with. That is basically coming from a look at us perspective and shifts the attention on you rather than on them. If you're a client, do you want somebody that is all about themselves or somebody that is really looking after your best interests? Obviously the latter. So just by the way that you, or the positioning of your About Us section, by putting it at the front makes it more about you, and when putting it more towards the back makes it more about them, less of you. So be smart in where you put that part. So as you are putting it rather at the end, after your solutions even, now you want to touch on 4 elements in there and make sure that it fits on one single page. It's got to be short, snippy, to the point. Yes, you can say a lot more great stuff about you, I get it, but be strategic in terms of what you put in there under the 4 buckets. Bear in mind, this page could be altered to suit the people that you're presenting to. It's got to be specific, it's got to be tailored, it's got to really be well received. And so you got to put your thinking cap on and say, what should I put in there in order to make it worth their while to actually take an interest in reading it? First of all, the why. It could be about why doing business with you and why you are in business. So it talks about your vision, the mission that you're on, and what really drives you. To the extent that this why of your purpose as an organization is one that is really inspiring and uplifting, it's going to connect people. If, however, that vision or mission statement is really airy-fairy, wishy-washy and just sounds like bland and like everybody else, well, it's a net distractor. It doesn't really add any value. So you got to be really good at unpacking what your why is and make sure that it creates a visceral effect inside the head and heart of your client. The next part is who. Who is twofold. Who is about who are you as a business, who is involved in the business and who is going to be potentially looking after these clients. That's the who part. But also who else like them are you already doing business with successfully, and have you been doing business with successfully over the last few years? So that part, who, is really important. The next part then is the what. What exactly do you do? What sort of things is worth them taking note of because it's relevant to them potentially? That should be in there. It also means that if you do 100 things and there's only 2 of those things that are really important to them, skip the 98, just list the 2. Last but not least is the difference, our difference. Why should you do business with us? Like, what is different when dealing with us? You got to have a really good idea in terms of 3, 4, maybe 5 things or 5 reasons why you are so much different to any of your competitors that they might be talking to as well. And once again, to the extent that those 2, 3 or 4 points really viscerally connect with them and where they just say like, wow, that sounds amazing, or that's great, or it just makes them feel a certain way in a positive sense. If that happens, great. It means you speak their language, you know what goes on in their world, and it clicks with them. But to the extent that it is just another wishy-washy, airy-fairy, or sounds bland and sounds like everybody else type of thing, what's the point of listing it? Yeah? If you say that, you pride yourself on customer service and excellence and looking after yourself and integrity, you know what? These values as such, to me, I personally couldn't care less because everybody else says something pretty much along the same lines too. So I want to see something different, and so do your clients. So make sure that this About Us section is one that inspires, that hooks, and that people respond well to. If that is the case, great job. Your winning sales proposal is indeed a winning sales proposal. And that was now success tip number 10.